How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews. Back to another review. Little collaboration, hopeful goodness, in the form of Carton and Imperial brings Shinshu. This is a miso-inspired cream ale. Yeah, I saw this drop, and I just had to try it. I like Carton Brewing. I like that they do food centric things and kind of riff on a lot of stuff like that. And I wouldn't call them one of my favorite breweries in the world, but one of the most ones I find the most interesting. And I think that sometimes a little bit more of a praise in my book than just flat out visceral. Like, this tastes amazing. It's just, I like the flavor profiles they kind of throw out there. It tends to be a bit interesting. Some are hits, some are misses, but this one really piqued me because I know they definitely have their cream ale game on lock. Combine that with the, savory side of things of miso, it just does it for me. Or hopefully does it for me. I love miso. It's not just for soups, even though I'm a miso soup junkie. I like to incorporate in a lot of stuff I do when I actually cook and things like that. So to have one of my favorite flavors be put into beer, it's going to be really cool to see what happens with it. To the point where just savory and beer just turns me on. Actually, when I first started this channel, I was thinking of a name. I didn't know what to think of it. I was actually going to riff on the word umami. Try to do something off that because that's the kind of flavor that really ends up making my nipples fucking hard when it comes to beer. I like a lot of different kinds of beer. When you give me a nice kind of savory, kind of aged beer that kind of turns into something a bit more robust, a bit more umami, then that is where kind of I start to freak out a little bit. So anyway, super excited to give this world. This is going to be interesting stuff. Thank you very much, George. George, you all know George, massive troll reviews and whatnot. He picked us up down there at Carton, so thanks, dude. A billion. And as far as what it says in the can, it says Shinshu, cream ale with miso, 9% alcohol by volume. It's a Burial Beer Company and Carton Brewing offering. On the side here, we have the story time they typically have, which is spend enough time in a company of creative brewers and inspiration will strike. Often late at night, deep in the cups, drinking someone else's experiment. Realization of potential is much easier if you're in the company of the inspiring brewers, allowing discussion of a notion in concert. Sitting at barrel drinking izakaya afternoon conversation turned to, there's a weird kind of verbiage in there. They missed the word, I think. Anyway, conversation. Oh no, it's right. I'm mumbling. Anyway, conversation turned to a partnership of vanilla tones and umami of miso addition, acting as a cuisine cheat for the barrel time. A couple drafts later, Shinshu was born. Burial came up, and together we birthed a cream ale having a serious miso addition that moves into the vanilla cake batter world of aromas without getting too sweet. Drink Shinshu and revel in alliance. You're talking about, looks here, the actual miso in the beer. Lactose, they said, it looked like in here. Where was it? Vanilla tones. So probably vanilla bean or lactose or something like that. And, talk about yellow cake. Yellow cake tends to be a little bit sweeter, I think. Don't get that super umami thing, but I guess you'd see the yellow cake, the kind of poundy cakiness with the miso and the vanillas. Anyway, cool concept. Other than that, typical Carton can. I always dug them. I've liked them from the get-go. Just the way they are. They're ostentatious, but at the same time, I just dig it. There's a weird kind of Gundam kind of Transformer character on the side there. So, anyway, let's give this a whirl. Carton Tiku, because I guess that's what we do. When we can, we try to go a little bit highbrow here, a little bit proper glassware. Not the biggest fan of Tikus, but anyway. Just off being clear, the lightest carbonation in the history of mankind. Pinky finger, whitehead, maybe just off. And it has, kind of a cream ale meets urine kind of vibe going on color-wise. I know it sounds disgusting, but that's what popped in my brain. So yes, as you can see, super soft carbonation. Very light in color. Does she look like a cream ale? Yes. Yes, she absolutely does. You know, drank enough Jenny Screamers in my life to know what a cream ale looks like. So, let's see if we can get a nose on her. Quintessential cream ale kind of nose on it, too. You get a nice kind of like a little bit beefier kind of for me, like kind of like Pilsner malt on there. I'm getting like a soft, maybe I'm getting a little bit of that kind of vanilla in there. Couldn't really place it like a soft, very, very soft vanilla. I can't really get much miso in a nose. It just smells like a very nice, small, low ABV kind of cream ale, even though this one's a bit higher. So, touch maybe of kind of like vanilla and a little bit of kind of like a beefed up kind of Pilsner malt kind of deal. That's pretty much it. So, definitely smells like a cream ale. So, let's see if we can get on the taste. Cheers. Wow. Wow. The taste is fun. It's sweet. I think the combination of the ABV in what they put in there vanilla-wise, I'm definitely not going to go vanilla bean. It's probably some soft kind of lactose-y thing. It has to be the miso, man. This is the silkiest, creamiest, most deliciously comfortable beer in my mouth I've ever had, I think. This thing drinks like pure silk. Man, it tastes good. I want to talk about the taste, but that mouthfeel is so fucking awesome. Wow. See, that's good. Now there is the miso plays a part. To me, less is more when it comes to miso. I love, and I put way too much into stuff sometimes because I can get a little bit overboard if I cook. You know, when you're a kid and you're making a fucking ice cream, you score too much you just like make like a not ice cream, a fucking milkshake, chocolate milk, and you like squirt it in, you get the perfect amount of chocolate in the thing, you drink it, you're like, that's good, but more chocolate is better. And then you put so much fucking chocolate in, you just like drinking like sugar chocolate, and you're like, this is even better. And then your stomach gets fucking sick, and then you start to get a little nauseous and stuff. That's kind of how I fucking end up with miso sometimes. I can't fucking help myself. But a lot of times when you're dealing with it, for me, a little bit of less is more, and just kind of don't let it get in its own way, or don't let you get in its way by using too much of what it is. I get it in there, but it's not super in your face. I don't think a lot of the times what Augie tries to do, trying not to sneeze, that's why I'm rubbing my nose. Allergies. I can still smell. Just kind of got this weird kind of itchy thing going on. Carton never really tries to get too heavy-handed with things they do. They're trying to be a little bit more subtle, a little bit more gentle. I think this actually is probably, I'm calling it light. I think it's one of the more heavy-handed things they've done with like kind of like lighter beers. But then again, their lighter stuff tends to be the stuff that I gravitate towards. You know what I mean? I like, O-Dub. I like Boat. I like some of the barrel aged stuff. Sunday I just reviewed that. It was fantastic. But by far and away my favorite beer I think I've ever done with them is Tharsis, which had saffron in it. So I mean, you're talking about a flavor that tends to be the same kind of thing where you don't want to go heavy handed with it. You just want to use it gentle enough. Same things going on in this beer. You're getting the base cream ale, and it has cream ale vibes all over the place. But then you add that extra level of miso that, even though the beer is really sweet and kind of adds that little bit of savoriness to kind of counterbalance it like you would with like hops, but instead of going over it with the hops, the kind of savory kind of works and makes that sweetness not necessarily as big as it perceptually should be. And then you get that added kind of mouthfeel and creaminess from the miso side of things. I think that in combination of probably is the vanilla vibe there, which is probably some kind of lactose, whatever, just adds even another layer of creaminess to it, to where the flavor's cool. I enjoy it. I think it's absolutely fucking fantastic. But the mouthfeel is the winner of the day in this one, along with that balance of that little bit of savory and that decent amount of sweetness. This is another really fun beer from Carton. You know, a lot of the stuff when I originally started having their beers tend to just kind of be, you know, they probably had to make their hay. They always had interesting stuff, you know what I mean? But they always, you know, it was a lot of testing the waters. And it was a lot of availability things, you know, to have your OW, your boat, your milk, all the beers listed on the back here, your BDG, which is still a fucking fantastic beer. Beers like that. Now I tend to get a bit more interesting stuff from them. With the Shinshu, whether it be from Rub or a lot of their kind of more food riffing, I like to say. Not food centric. I don't necessarily think their beers are like eat this or drink this and you're going to taste this exact thing. It's more of like drink this and you're riffing off the flavors of that thing. It's fun. They're interesting. I wouldn't put them in with my viscerally favorite beers, but again, like I said at the beginning, some of the more interesting stuff I've had, and interesting in my book, is the shit that typically turns me on the most. Which is weird, because you figured then it's your favorite beer, but it's, I don't know, there's a weird line there for me. So yeah, sweet creaminess, vanilla, soft, but it's there. The savoriness of that miso is there. Acts for me kind of like the way the hops typically do in like an IPA to kind of bounce off that sweetness, even though sweetness wins the day on this. And this is just a mouthfeel to die for. So let's talk about it. It's one of the better savory based cream ales, Imperial cream ales I've ever had. Yeah, it's the best one ever because it's the only one I've ever had. Is it one of the more interesting beers I've had as of late? Yes. Valued availability? No idea. It's Carton. It was given to me by George. So I assume give or take about $20 for a 4-pack. A little more, a little less, brewery only. There you go. And just say if you like what we like this. If you like interesting beers, if you like unique New York kind of beers, if you like Carton beers, because that's what it is. It's just taking a bunch of flavors that typically you don't find in the beer world and making them work in a way that's pretty fucking fun. And that does not suck. So if you're into those kind of things, pick it up. If you can. Like I said, it's probably a brewery only thing. So if you can snag it, especially if you love miso. And you like riffing on food, and you think that works well in beer. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you want to talk about it and stuff like that down there, words and things, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped, Massive Beers, all 4 of those places. If you want to check me out anywhere else, and there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a nice savory beer right now. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.